And aloha! Welcome to the BlueNote Fan Report. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and I'm your host on the only program that is by a fan, for the fan, and absolutely about you, the fan.
So are you Guy or Guy?
Ed Danowski.
You're not in Hawaii?
I wish.
To Mr. Gary Younger.
Hi, Guy.
Hey, sir, how are you?
And Brock, how are you doing?
Doing great, sir. Doing great. Honored to have you on the show.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
And aloha! Welcome to the BlueNote Fan Report Playoff Preview. Oh, this is going to be a show like none you have ever seen before. When I say that we're by the fans, for the fans, and about you, the fans, I mean it. And the reason I mean it, today, I have 4 guests, not including my normal co-host, Brock Banner. We're going to cover all 4 divisions. First thing, though, we had some horrible breaking news on the Blues side. David Perron has been added to the COVID list. Some are hoping this is a false positive. I don't think it is. And the reason I don't is because Wallman got COVID. He had been long ago. Walker was with this not too long ago, and now with him getting it, I don't think it's a false positive. We could see COVID going through. We'll talk about that a little bit more. I know my internet's going in and out, so it might freeze up a little bit. Give it a bit. Let's see what happens. So let's bring in our first guest. Brock, what's up, bud?
I'm excited. Playoff hockey, man. I love it.
Oh, I know. This is going to be a fun one. So the first guest that we're going to bring in, we're going to talk about the Central Division. We're going to bring in Kyle Krupp from the Hockey Writers.
Kyle
Krupp, right?
Kyle Knopp.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
I'm bad with last names. I'm really bad. Ask Brock. He'll tell
He's
you.
terrible. Yeah. Hey,
Right?
Kyle.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah. Hey, hey, welcome, man. You write for the Hockey Writers, and you do a podcast called The Morning Skate. Is that correct?
So I write for the Hockey Writers. Our podcast is The Grind Line. I cover the Red
Grind
Wings.
Line.
And then our daily newsletter, it's a new thing by the Hockey Writers, comes out Monday through Friday, free to your inbox. That is The Morning Skate, and I'm the managing editor of that. We have a team of writers that are excellent from the Hockey Writers, and we put that together every night, Sunday night through Thursday nights for everyone. So morningskate.io, go sign up today. But yeah, happy to be here.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk. We're going to talk about the Central Division. Now, this was an interesting division to begin with.
Yeah.
Once the Tampa Bay Lightning had Stamkos be out for the season, I kind of felt that the division opened up. I wrote a story about it, that I felt like this was anybody's division, and that's what it turned out to be, anybody's division. It has what I think is one of the 2 best matchups in the first round, and we'll talk about that first. The Florida Panthers against the defending Tampa Bay Lightning. Where's your thoughts on this? Let's talk first of all. What's going to be the number 1 matchup in this matchup?
Yeah, so right before I answer that question, I'd like to just point out to everyone the Kucherov situation is a really hot topic right now, right? With the did they circumnavigate the cap, circumvent the cap space and all that? anyone that's a competitor, anyone that's been playing at a high level knows that if you're healthy, you want to be on that ice. So the whole deal with Kucherov is he had surgery. He spent his whole season rehabbing and coming back. Maybe he could have came back in time for the last week or two if he pushed it. But why push it when you already have the playoffs locked up? Home ice in Florida with not that many fans, I think it's about half capacity, will have a little bit of an impact, but really having your number one forward even healthier and 100% is going to have a bigger impact than that extra game or two. So I just want to touch on that. They did everything within the rules that the NHL has allowed them to do. And so, having them back healthy is going to be huge. But they haven't done anything illegal, as a lot of fans kind of want to point out. So I want to throw that out there. To answer your question, I think goaltending is going to be the huge key to this series. Vasilevsky started out looking unbeatable at the beginning of the year and it's kind of come back to earth. The Panthers have a great tandem of goalies that they can really put out there at any time. So I think it's really going to come down to the goaltending, and if Vasilevsky can be a bigger cat than the Panthers, can out big cat the Panthers.
Okay, well,
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Brock.
I tell you what, as much as I don't want to, I want to root for the Panthers or even Nationals playing great. Boy, I'll tell you what, you just Tampa Bay, the veteran experience they bring, the fact that these guys are coming in fresh. Our old man Pat Maroon, has been stirring up a storm down there, and that's what he does best. So. Well, I think Tampa's going to be a handful for anybody throughout the entire playoffs. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh no, I kind of agree. What and that's what I wanted to go off. Experience, right? I think that this might be the X factor in this series because you have Coach Q. We just wrote a really good article about this. Brock did. Coach Q, 3 rings, took some time, but he's really molded this into I don't want to say a prototype Coach Q team, but he's molded into that Coach Q factor with the players he has. Does that kind of make sense to you?
Oh, absolutely. I think Quenneville has done a fantastic job coming in and really rebuilding that whole program in his own vision. And you kind of see little aspects of the early 2010s of the Chicago Blackhawks there. Obviously, they don't have a Patrick Kane or a Jonathan Taves, but that whole system of play is really shining through in what the Panthers do have.
Right now, with that, you take the experience of Tampa Bay just winning the cup, going through the bubble. Now, who gives the advantage on that, or is it a wash?
You got to say, anytime you have a team with a little bit deeper of a playoff run, you got to give them the slight edge. I mean, last year's bubble was something that no team really had ever been a part of coming into the season. So being able to really gel and go through that together as a team and then come out really rolling to start the season kind of showed that they can click when it needs to happen. They have been plagued with some injuries and a couple cold streaks this year. But if everyone's healthy, I think that edge, although slight, has to go to the Lightning.
Okay, so who are you picking in that series?
I'm going to go Lightning, and I think they're going to get it done in 6.
Lightning in 6. Brock, where are you at on that one?
I'm still going sentimental. I'm going with Coach Q, but I'll tell you what, I doubt myself every minute. And then that other series is one I think could sneak up on people. I know we talked about Nashville.
Hey, you're jumping ahead.
Sorry.
You're jumping ahead. Pick this series, and then we'll get to the next one.
I'm picking Coach Q, Florida.
Okay, yeah, I went with Coach Q last season and it didn't pan out, but I'm going with them this season. But I think it's going to be, I think 6 is the right number. So let's talk about that next one. We've got about 6-7 minutes to go. This is the surprise matchup. These are the 2 teams that we didn't think were going to be here, but they're here. Carolina in the number 1 slot, Nashville in the number 4 slot. What's your take on this series?
Coin flip, really. I mean, so looking at the numbers at the halfway point in the season and finishing down the stretch, which, in my opinion, you want to be that team that is hot and really coming together down the stretch and going into the playoffs. Nashville was 27-1 in their final 28 games.
Wow.
They were the second best team in the NHL. Third best team in the NHL during that time period, behind the Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights. So they got hot at the right time. Their goaltending, Saros looks amazing, and then you can't ever count out having Rene as the veteran in the back coming in whenever you need. Their offense is clicking, and to be honest, I think Nashville might be the hottest team coming into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I agree 100%. They scare me.
Yeah,
They do. And the thing is, I don't want them to win because we hate those suck. We hate those people. They suck.
No, no, I'm with you. I see them being hot, but I also see in Carolina a team that's been building to this point.
yes.
Right. And when you have a team that's been building to this point, I think that will win over lightning in a bottle. And I think that's what Nashville has right now is a little more lightning in the bottle, because they weren't even expected to make the playoffs. A lot of people had them 5th or 6th in this. So I just think that Carolina's experience that's been building up is going to be stronger with this one. What do you think is the X factor in this series, Kyle?
That's a great question. I think, obviously goaltending, you have 4 different goaltenders between the two teams that could really step in and steal a series or a game at least when need be. I think it's really going to come down to the young guys, their young offensive, spark for both teams. Jan Kirk, I think, is going to have to be huge for Nashville. And I think you're just going to have to see a lot of a lot of production from the young guys on Carolina as well.
Okay, hey, we're just checking on our friend Jordan York. Can't watch the show today, but she wanted to pop in to say hi. Hey, Jordan, we appreciate you. We got Ashley in here. What else? Where in this series? What's the one thing that we need to watch in this series that you just wouldn't think to watch?
I think that it's really going to come down to the defensive course. So both teams can score, both teams have goaltenders, and I think it's really going to come down to which defense can drive the play the best. They're going to have to get the pucks out of their zone and really start the play from their own end and really create space for those forwards to operate. So I really think that's going to be a key factor in this, is which defensive core can really drive those plays from the back end.
Yeah, I see that. Now they did lose Joel Edmondson in the offseason. He went to Montreal in a what do you call it, like friendly trade. Edmondson wanted to be closer to his father who has cancer, and they set something up for him, and I appreciate that. But he does took away a little toughness from that defense. I gotta say he did. When he was in St. Louis, you could see that toughness. The Storm Surge, you like it or not?
Yeah, it's hard to root against what Brendan Moore's done down there. Their team is fun. They're exciting to watch. They have a great core. I think they're close. I would like to see them do it soon. I don't see this being the year. I think the hype is a little bit too much. And honestly, I think Nashville's just too hot and playing the right way right now. And I think they're going to come out and be a little bit too much.
Okay. So go ahead, Brock.
I was going to say, before you go, because I know we only got about a minute left, I was trying to look at the schedule. What time is the Red Wing game on today?
Funny. But I believe we'll be celebrating a little bar down Steve Yzerman shot tomorrow. So I'll pull our extra one out for you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, this series, where are you going with this series?
This is going to be my dark horse series. I'm going to go Nashville in 5.
Nashville. Oh, wow.
Yep.
He's drinking the Kool-Aid. Just remember that Kool-Aid. No, just real quick. A few years back, I forget which team it was, but the Devils, I think it was the Rangers, had beat them every game in the regular season, and the Rangers came out and swept them.
Yeah.
Or took them in 5. So just remember that. Brock, where you going?
Well, like I said, man, I like the Predators as much as I hate Nashville and all those bozos down there. I'll tell you why I like them, but you know what? I'm not going against Brenda Moore. I'm Dougie Hamilton. I mean, they got some guys. I think that this could be a year, and they're on the collision course.
Okay. Well, hey, Kyle, thank you so much. If you want to stick around in the studio, you're more than welcome. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll probably try and have you on for a longer show later.
Excellent. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks, man. So now it's time to talk with the East. And the first person that we got to bring in, I just seen something. I'm mad. No, I'm bringing in Blaine first. Hey, Blaine, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, guys.
This is Blaine Potvin from the Hockey Writers. I forgot what team you write for, Blaine, and I'm sorry.
The Canadians.
The Canes. Canadians.
Yeah,
Oh,
we talked about that.
Oh my goodness, that's right. I'm bringing in Blaine too early. I'm sorry.
No, bring him in now. Let's talk about it.
I'll bring him anyways. You know what? I'll bring her in, and then I'm going to bring in my buddy Richard, and we're going to talk about the East. First matchup in the East. Oh my goodness, Boston Cat. The first matchup in the East we'll talk about is happening within a couple of minutes. This is the Washington Capitals and the Boston Bruins. I got to ask, guys. I'll start with Cat. What's the thing that we got to look for in this series?
This series is going to be really intense. I think they're both going to come out really hot, and from the last time they saw each other, which was only a few days ago, it's going to be intense, and I'm excited for it. I think this is the most anticipated first round matchup in the NHL. And I'm being maybe biased, and to be honest, every game that I've watched leading up into the playoffs, every single announcer has mentioned this matchup, Boston versus the Caps. And I think everyone's looking to Tom Wilson. They're going to look to Marchand. They're going to look for some fights. And I think there's going to be some major action.
Okay, so that brings a good question. Is Wilson, with his knee, is he able to play?
I think they're going to play him. I haven't heard that he's out, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see if they can shake him up a little bit. I'm excited. This is going to be a very good game tonight. And, even if he plays a little bit softer, I think this is going to be a long series.
Yeah. I do too. I think it's going to be so. Hey, Richard, I know that this is a series that you're interested in. What's your thoughts on this series?
Well, as Kat said, it's going to be an intense, long, grueling series, but it's going to take a lot of intense effort into it. The key to this series is the injuries the Capitals have. I'm not betting on them being fully healthy, and I think that may cost them heading into the series.
Right. So, hey, Blaine, what's your thought process on this one?
Oh, I can't wait to watch Chara play the Bruins. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Okay.
Personally, I kind of want to see a really tough series, and I really want to see Brad take a nice hard hit on Wilson and then take one back, because that way I can pick on him. He just lives up the road, so I was going to go pick on him a little bit there this summer.
Hey, Blaine, she's the president of the Brad Marchand Love Club.
You would not like what I've done to his backyard.
What do you mean? What have you done?
Oh, he lives on the back of a lake just behind my place here. So
awesome.
Yeah, we have our fun.
Great guy.
So
sure, yeah,
we'll go. So Blaine, what you're telling me? So what I'm hearing is, if I'm really, really nice to you, there's a chance that I could get Brad Marchand on my show.
No, I can't get him.
No.
Probably better. So actually, to me, the Wilson Marchand thing is probably bigger than we think it is, right?
Yeah.
Because these are two of the most hated players in the league, right? Plain and simple. And not only are they the most hated, a lot of people, unless you're in Boston or Washington, will call them the most dirty players in the league, right? This could be a blow up. I mean,
well, I'll tell you, for me, You know, I just
What?
said that's diminishing. You know, TJ Oshie and everybody else on that team. I mean, man, that's a loaded team, and Boston's loaded. And to kind of characterize them just as Samuel Wilson or as Brad Marchand, I think it's really cutting them way short because, I mean, Ovechkin, you just go through the lines. It's like these guys are a good team. They're all veterans. They've been playoff tested. There's a Stanley Cup champion, 3 years ago, the year before us. So, I think Ovechkin's got a little bit more in the tank. But I'll tell you what, Boston is impressive because no matter how much you want them out and to just die a slow death, they keep freaking coming back.
Yeah.
Stop it.
No, I'm with you. This is the third of my top 3 matchups, right? I put this at third. Number 1 we'll talk about next. Number 2 was Florida and Tampa Bay. For me, actually, I want to go back to Richard. Richard, in this series, what do you think is the X factor?
For Washington Capitals injuries, if they're fully healthy, I fully expect them to bring what they brought in the regular season and be dominant once again. But Washington's injuries slowed them down in the first 2-3 games. I think Boston will have a stranglehold on them, and it'll be pretty hard to come back from that.
Well, yeah. The other thing that I think is Chara is the X factor because now Chara gets to come back to Boston with a decent amount of fans. Because the one thing that came out yesterday is the majority of the arenas in the U.S. are increasing their fans. St. Louis is up to 9,000 now. And I think Boston was on the TBD list. But you're seeing 25%.
that.
Say again.
25%.
25%. But yeah, so there's coming up now, and that he could be the X factor to me. What do you think there, Kat?
I'm excited to see him. Obviously he's just a legend in Boston. I don't like seeing him on the Capitals. I thought he was going to stay in Boston forever. And I think a lot of people were shocked to see him go and not get his, contract extended. But, I think Boston was like, you got no gas left in the tank. But, sometimes people are like Tom Brady. These athletes just keep going. And clearly he's still doing really good. So I'm happy for him. I don't want to see him beat the Bruins, but I'm still a fan of Chara. I've got no hate against Chara.
Right. Blaine, what do you think?
Well, you would think I would hate Chara, but I honestly don't. I think he's an excellent hockey player. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's a great leader. There's nothing really to dislike about the man. He's a gentle man outside the arena as well. So, I hope he wins.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So we got a couple. It's time to pick this one before we go on to my upset pick. Where are you at on this one, Richard?
I'm saying Bruins in 7. I think Washington comes back from a series deficit, but I think Boston puts the staple in Game 7.
Okay, Kat.
I'm saying Bruins in 6.
Okay, Blaine.
You don't need to take it to 7. Doesn't need to go that far. 6 is enough.
I think everything depends on Bergeron, but if he comes in and he plays the way he can, I think Boston can take this in 7.
Okay, what do you say, Brock?
I am not going to say the words, but the team that will not be mentioned from this mouth, by which we have a Stanley Cup title, will win this series. I'll leave it at that.
See, I'm the distractor here. I think the Caps win this series. I think the Caps experience. I think the Caps. I think Chara, that X factor, could prove to be enough to get them over. And then you got Ovechkin. He's been resting. If he's healthy, I'm taking Ovechkin over the Bruins for me. So let's get to the next one, the 1-4 seed. This is Pittsburgh against the Islanders. To me, these seeds are swapped from what I thought at the beginning of the year, right? I did not think Pittsburgh would be there, but lo and behold, here they are. So I'll start with Kat on this one. What's your impressions of this series?
Pittsburgh's scary. They're just an intense team, and Crosby. You're saying that Marchand's dirty and that he's like the dirtiest player along with Tom Wilson, but I think Sidney Crosby's even above them. Maybe, I don't know. He's sneaky. I don't like him. I'm scared of them. I hope that the New York Islanders can just take him out. I want to be done with them. And it's going to be another interesting lineup. I think the Islanders are strong, coming in number 4 right now. But, hey, they just gave the Bruins a hard time. I think they're right up there with everyone else in the East. And it's going to be another good series starting tomorrow morning with them.
Okay. Richard, what do you think, bud?
I think for Penguins, so probably the hardest team in the NHL right now. They managed to top the division, beating out 5 very tough opponents, besides Philly, who just fell off, but they were up there. But Pittsburgh is rolling on all 4 lines of the forward group. The defense has been average, but that forward group will be enough to get them into a very serious position in these playoffs.
I'm kind of with you. Where are you at there, Blaine?
I think it comes down to goaltending. The 2 teams, whichever one gets the steady goaltending through the series is going to take it.
Right. Well, I mean, Yari, you would think with having Murray as his being backing up Murray, that he got some of that experience or that, even though, Murray didn't have a great time when he was there, but he did learn from him. So, and then that's a very playoff leading team in Pittsburgh. For me, the Islanders, Brock, I'll let you go first.
Oh, you're copping out. You're going to see what I didn't even pick up. So I'm telling you what, this is just like the Lakers. You never bet against the Lakers. The Pittsburgh Penguins are like the Lakers of the NHL. You just don't bet against them. They know how this is done. They've done it before. It's their pedigree. It's in their blood. And I'll tell you what, they're probably going to be in the conference final. And I'll tell you what, just as much as you want to vote against them, you just don't bet against the damn Penguins.
So for me, it comes down to the eye test. And when you watch the Islanders play, even if they lose, they still look good. Mm-hmm. You don't see them have a bad game. They get beat, but they don't have a bad game. And getting beat is okay. I'd rather get beat playing your A game than get beat playing a bad game. And when I see them, they just look good. And the eye test tells me that they can be in a 7-game series. They can play their A game 7 games. And if you play your A game 7 games, you're going to win 4. Right? So that's where I'm at. So I'll start with Kat. Pick this. You want to pick this series?
Islanders in 7. Let's go. I have a question real quick for the group. If you're a New York Ranger fan, hating Boston, obviously recently really hating the Caps, who do you think the New York Rangers are going for in this series? And really quick, going back to the Boston Caps, who do you think New York Ranger fans are rooting for?
That would be like me trying to root for the Blackhawks and the Predators.
You know what?
That's the one where
they're rooting for the Yankees and the Yankees.
Oh yeah, I just think that they would probably more. It's who do they hate more, and they have a longer hate of Boston than they have of the Caps.
True.
So they would probably hate Boston more. What do you think on that one, Richard?
Well, who I'm taking the series is Penguins in 5.
Penguins in 5?
I think I'm going over for hard hand, and the Islanders haven't been playing good as of late. They've lost 7 games in the last 10, 3 overtime losses, but still, I think the Penguins roll over them despite falling off playing well.
Right. What do you think there, Blaine?
I think the Penguins are going to win this one in about 6 games. The losing to the Canadiens last year in the play-in left a really bitter taste in their mouth. I mean, the Habs were not supposed to be there. And then when you lose to the lowest seeded team who had no business being there, you're going to be bitter.
Yeah. But see, to me, I went with Pittsburgh thinking Montreal wasn't playing well, but I said it wouldn't surprise me if Montreal beat them because I thought Pittsburgh was like at the end of their run. Mm-hmm. This run surprises me, and I don't know how much gas they got in the tank. What about you, Brock?
Pittsburgh is. I'm talking about Pittsburgh. I see them at getting it done in 6. I mean, I almost think 5, but I'm not going to be that bold. I just think they're a veteran team. And again, as much as our gal Cat hates Sidney Crosby, the guy that can play, man, he leads them in points. You know, he's actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? He's not just legendary, but he's actually putting points up in a really weird year. So I got to tell you, they're a team that I think will probably be there at the end. Boring.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm going with the Islanders on this one. I think the Islanders are. I just watch them, and I said, and in a 7-game series, I think they can win 4 games, and I actually think they can do it in 5. Right?
Yep.
Okay, let's get up to the most interesting division. This is the North.
Mm-hmm.
This has 2 matchups that has everybody salivating. First matchup. And we're actually not going to talk about this one as long as we have the other matchups. We're going to just hit this one real quick because the next matchup is the matchup. But the first matchup is the Oilers against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Blaine on this one. Blaine, I'll start with you. Where's your opinion, or what's your impression of this series?
It's going to be a tough series. Edmonton, clearly, I mean, they got McDavid, they got Draisaitl. The Nurse has really come into his own this year, but I'm leaning towards Winnipeg. They've got that really big, heavy top 6. They can score, they can hit. Their defense is pedestrian at best, but they've got Hellebuck in net, who's a Vezina Trophy winner and having another Vezina type season. So your defense doesn't have to be all that great. It just needs to keep shots to the outside, and Hellebuck will just gobble them all up. So Edmonton, they really need to start making a run for it. They've been rebuilding for 15 years, and they really need something here for the fans.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning towards Winnipeg.
I'm leaning towards Winnipeg. Richard, where are you at on this one?
Well, mid-season, when I was thinking about the playoff matchups, I had Winnipeg because they were one of the better teams. I feel forward that it's the best forward depth in the NHL, in my opinion. The defense is just horrid, though, and Hellebuck hasn't been stellar, and the sets have been falling off as of late. While the Oilers, since January 30th, they've been the third best team in the league. Like, after McDavid and Draisaitl, the forward depth drops off, but the defense has stepped up, and Mike Smith has been unbelievable this year. So I'm leaning Oilers here.
Yeah, where are you at on this one, Kat?
I think Winnipeg Jets are taking this one. I think they're if they just step up the defense a little bit, I think they're gonna stay strong and hopefully take this one. I think they're gonna go take it in 6 or 7, and it's gonna be another intense series.
Yeah, for me, well, I'll go up with Brock before I get in there.
I'm starting to realize that I'm not built for this playoff hockey because I think they're all good games and they could all go either way and they could all win the Stanley Cup. So that said, like I can't really, in good conscience, go against Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I'm like, my God, these guys had an epic year. But on the same token, I mean, the Jets, they played the Blues great and had, they exited the first round in 2019. That's what Connor Hellebuck really came into his own, and he has just done nothing but get better and better. So, he's a guy that, again, I think is a goalie that could get real hot at a good time. They signed the St. Louis and Adam Lowry to play defense, and he was a good signing. They paid him some good money, and he kind of gives them some security back there. And they still think they got Scheifele, and I think they got a strong team. But I just, in my good conscience, I just really can't go against Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. So I'm gonna go the Oilers, but I'm gonna say it's gonna go 7 though.
Well, see, for me, this one comes down to McDavid. I was not happy with McDavid up until this season. I always felt like he did not make those around him better. This season, he's made those around him better. He's figured it out. I do know that their defense is suspect, but I think that the Blues beating the Jets might be – I don't think they've recovered from that. The way they played, just some of the things. And when I say that, you go back to when St. Louis beat Chicago in 7 games in 16 – I don't think Chicago's recovered from that. I don't think the Sharks have recovered from 19 in that. You can see where some of these big playoff losses have hurt teams for years to come. And for me, I think it's Edmonton's time. Now this is my series. If we go over on this one, I don't care. This is it. This is the
This
series.
is hockey right here, man, isn't it? This is the hockey.
This is what hockey is about. Every time that these two teams have met, the winner has won the cup.
Ooh.
Every time that this number 1, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and number 4, the Montreal Canadiens. This is it. This is a country is going to shut down during these games. Plain and simple. 2 of you guys are in Canada. Am I right or wrong about that?
Most of the country, yeah.
Right? If you have a TV, right, done. Nobody's watching. This is it. I'm going to start with you, Blaine. Let me see where you're thinking on this one.
Well, I actually remember the last time these two teams played. That's how old
That would have
I
been
am.
93, right?
In the playoffs, 79.
79. Okay.
Yeah. I'm old. So I was in diapers, though. I got to keep it, it was like, it feels like last year. But no, yeah, this is going to be a series that people are going to watch because of those two names. It's going to be fun to watch too. People are underestimating the Canadians on this series. They don't realize that the Habs played 25 games in 41 days. They were gassed. Having a season like that with that kind of schedule, you're not going to play that well. But they still limped in, and now they get the reward of playing the Maple Leafs. And the TSN highlight boy with a really horrible mustache, I got to point that out. It's horrible. They should lose just because of the mustache. Shave that thing. Come on. Oh, my God. But Toronto's an excellent hockey team. They've got a lot of really good weapons on there. If they start with Anderson, I'd be shocked because Campbell's played so well. With the Canadians, you're going to be getting back almost everybody that was injured, except with the exception of Jonathan Drouin, who is out for personal reasons. I'll get into that another time. With Carey Price coming back, that's a big, big push. So these announcers who's going on about Toronto's going to beat the Canadians in 3 games. They won't even bother to show up for the 4th. I think maybe guys are a little bit ahead of yourselves. This is going to be a 6 to 7 game series. I'm still going to give it to the Leafs. Still giving it to the Leafs because they have that firepower. And as it stands right now, the head coach for the Canadians, who's got an interim tag, is playing guys like Stahl over guys like Caulfield.
So where are you at on this one, Kat? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, when you need goals, Stahl's your man.
Yeah. Where are you going, Kat?
I'm gonna agree with Blaine. The Leafs are on fire. I mean, they really are. I think they're really intense and fast, and it's scary. They had a lot of weapons, and they're just shooting their shots. And again, they got the speed, they got the people. I think we're in for, again, another great series. I mean, I say that, Bruins are the most anticipated series, but honestly, you could argue that for anyone. All these series are looking great, and I'm just excited to just be a part of this and witness this and be able to watch these series. But Canada, man, it's going to be – I'm worried when they're going to come to the U.S. I mean, when they hit round 3, I mean – with no fans up in Canada right now, what's that going to be like? I know I'm looking a little too forward, but
yeah, that's going to be an X factor in round 3. It really is. The one thing, I won't go there yet. By the way, you talk about timeliness. We just talked about Tom Wilson Marchand matchup, and Wilson scores the first goal. It's 1-0.
All right, I got to get going. I can't, sit here all night and chat.
Okay, no problem, Kat.
I'm sweating over here. I'm like watching the clock. Like it's 20 minutes.
No problem, Kat. Thank you so much. We'll catch you later, Kat. Thank you.
She's kidding.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me on, Guy. Really
No
quick,
problem.
I just want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Ringside Media. Sponsors all of my productions. They do graphics, signage, digital products, and all my social media. So thank you, Ringside Media, and thank you, Guy, for having me on the BlueNote Fan Report. It's always a pleasure.
Hey, anytime. We're still waiting for that Cat and Cat show. And I think that's going to be
Where's Cat on this show? I thought she was going to be on.
Oh, she couldn't come on, unfortunately.
All right, next time. Shut up,
next
Cat.
time.
Russian
I'll
Cat.
talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right.
Okay, where are you at on this one, Richard?
Well, I have to make this quick as my computer's about to die. But
Okay.
Toronto coming in hard. The thing about Montreal is, for an average team, for a mediocre team, they have mediocre defense. They have a goalie who isn't a top 5 goalie anymore. And for forward depth, it's very good. They have no stars. They have no one there. While Toronto, they have stars. They have forward depth. The defense has improved quite a bit. And Campbell's been hot lately. So I have Toronto in 5 over Montreal, as I think Toronto is far from a mediocre team, while Montreal is a mediocre team in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm kind of there. So for me, I'll go ahead, Brock.
Well, I was gonna say I'm gonna be quick. I'm going Toronto in 5. And the reason why, because I feel like if Montreal gets down early in that series, they're done. The fans will be on them. You know, the coach will be under a lot of pressure. There's a lot of like side issues going on in Montreal right now. But judging from the social media, it's like a comedy show to watch their social media, all the comments and the controversy that team has stirred. So my concern is they get down early in games, early in the series. That's just gonna, steamroll and really not do them well. But I'm really excited about their future. And that Cole Caulfield, I'll tell you what, even though he looks like the youngest guy I've ever seen in a hockey uniform, he's gonna be good, man.
Yeah. Well, for me, see, this comes down to Matthews. It really does. For me, what Matthews did, the 41 goals, is a bigger accomplishment than the 100 points. It just, to me, I just see this because he's been building to this point, right? He would have hit 55 to 60 goals had this gone 83. He's that guy. He's that guy. And I think that he's going to salivate over the chance to score on Smith. Sorry, it's Sly Fox, Jeremy. Check your Sly Fox account. Sorry. I like Toronto in this one. And the only other reason I like Toronto is you look at all the championships the last couple of years, the Blues, the Astros, even though they cheated, Washington. You're seeing teams that hadn't won in a really long time get it. And the Caps haven't won since 1967, 66 actually. So it's their time. It's their time for me. I'm going Caps, or not Caps. I'm going Toronto. I'm going Toronto in 6.
Yeah, they might win the series. I don't see them getting past the third round. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, the third round is where I'm thinking they're going to have trouble, because I think so. They brought up, Kat brought up what they're going to do in the third round. They're going to have, to me, whoever wins it, and I'm looking at Toronto. You look at Toronto and Montreal where they're at. I would think that they would go to Buffalo, right? They would play in Buffalo's arena, and Edmonton and Winnipeg. I think that they would play in either Chicago or Detroit.
If you're in Buffalo, you're already screwed. That entire building is cursed. If you're in it, as the home team, you're done.
Yeah, well, I get it, but do you kind of disagree with me? I could see him going. I could see him going. I could see either actually Winnipeg. Now that I think about it, Winnipeg or Edmonton going to Minnesota if Minnesota's out, right? I could see that. That might work for them, but I just see that that's going to be the best way to do it, right? Well, we're on to my favorite, the West.
Hey, Blaine, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, you want to tell everybody where you're at and where they can find you before we go?
I'm the Canadian staff writer for the Hockey Writers. You can also find me at recruits.ca and my podcast, Habs Unfiltered.
Right. Hey, man, we got to get you on the Blue Note Fan Report and my show. And actually, I've got friends who do the Happy Hour. Do you know them?
Yeah, I know them well.
Yep. I've been on their show. And in fact, on their show, I told them that they were going to absolutely love Edmondson and Allen and that they were going to be great for them. And damn, if I wasn't on the money.
Oh, yeah. Home runs.
Home runs. Okay. Thanks, Blaine. We will catch you later, my friend.
Thanks, man.
So let's welcome a new, well, actually not new for the second time, Ben Fisher for the Knights and
how's it going, Jock? What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, Jeremy.
What's up, guys?
Stranger and Jeremy Miller. We're going to talk about the West.
All right.
Oh, he's got his Penguins cap on. So let's get into Ben's series first. You know, this is the one that a lot of people. This is the one that some people are picking upset, but very few. Minnesota and the Knights.
Yeah.
What's your thought process on this, Ben?
Hey, I mean, I know who I'm speaking to here, but I'll be totally honest that it ain't the matchup we wanted, and so there is definitely a sneaky, feisty element here for especially from Minnesota's end. I mean, they're young, they've got some grit to them, some forecheck, they've got some speed, and of course, they hammered us in the regular season. So, I mean, for a team that finished with not really well, I guess not officially a share of the President's Trophy, but matched the highest point total of any team in the NHL. It ain't exactly a cakewalk first round here.
Yeah. Where are you at on this one, Jeremy? I'll go to you. My thoughts are kind of mixed right now.
All right. So I'm torn because I love the Knights and I love the Wild. But I'm going to give it to Minnesota. Even though they've gotten beaten by the Blues, these last few games, I still Kaprizov, Zuccarello, Rask is on fire, Foligno's back. If they can get Talbot and Kakkonen to, be solid in net, Minnesota's dangerous. But you've also got, on the other side, you've got Vegas, which they've been there. They know what they're doing. Fleury has won cups. He knows how to be solid in net. But I'm going with Minnesota in 7.
Right. Where are you at on this one, Brock?
Well, I'm just going to just stop the nonsense. And Jeremy, first of all, welcome back. Good to see you,
hey,
my
buddy.
And I will tell you, Jeremy and I have been high on Minnesota since about game 10. That we noticed right away that they were clicking and they were doing real well. And again, that was a thing that just totally worked out. But I'm just going to tell you, I mean, the Vegas are built for this. I mean, I can't even with a straight face think they're going to lose even a game. Now I know that Minnesota has played them well. Minnesota has really been kind of their nemesis. So I think that they'll make some headway. But I just think that in the 7-game series, you're talking about Jonathan Marchessault, Max Pacioretty, Mark Stone, Alec Martinez, Alec Tuck, Alec Petrangelo, the 3 outs right there. The 3 outs will kill you right there. And I know I'm forgetting a bunch of other people that I'm not even mentioning. Riley, Riley Smith. He just kills us every time he plays the Blues. He just ends up scoring a couple goals. So it's just crazy. And I'm not gonna go against my heart. I'm gonna go with my head and say the Knights.
Well, see, for me, the one thing that you got to look out for in this one is the Kool-Aid, and the Kool-Aid is the Minnesota Wild. And I talked about this a little earlier. I know you guys may not have heard it. A couple of years back, I think it was the Devils who had swept the Rangers in the regular season, met them in the postseason, and got beaten 5. I think it was. This was I want to say 16 or 17. No, it was the year the Blues were out of the series. So it would have been 18. Mm-hmm. 18, right? I drank that Kool-Aid and it destroyed me.
Wasn't it the year that Taylor Hall won the Hart?
Yeah, I think so. Right? I think that was the year.
Yeah.
And the Devils were hot. Hall was won the heart, or was going to win the heart going into the playoffs, and then they got smacked.
Yeah, but see, they were the away team.
Yeah.
They were the lower seed.
Hey,
Go
guys.
ahead.
Real quick, I have a question for Ben, because I know we talked the other night, and it was great. We were really appreciated having you on the show. But, what are the chinks in the armor? I mean, they are a veteran team. They could get worn down. I mean, if, in a physical series, they could really get worn down. And that's what the Blues did to the Sharks a couple of years ago. They just demoralized them, I don't think Vegas will be demoralized by any means, but where, what are the holes? What are we looking at?
I mean, we haven't. I mean, every NHL team goes through their injuries, but the Golden Knights haven't really fielded between cap restrictions and health. The Golden Knights haven't fielded their full healthy roster for I'm gonna say pretty much the whole season. Obviously, the cap restrictions now come off, but I mean, we've still got Pacioretty's a big question mark going into Game 1. Alec Martinez is still game time decision. Alex Tuch, it looks like Tuch's gonna suit up for us, but health has still been very much a lingering concern here. And to your point, it is a veteran, older group, and going up against a young, fresh, wild team. Then I mean, that's not to say that the injuries are necessarily going to stop once Game 1 rolls around. So we've seen over the last couple of weeks that it's mainly been the cap issues, but that's really tested our depth and sort of created some situations where we're playing fourth line guys on the top line, and I mean, that also,
Blues know all about that.
Oh yeah,
right.
We're not alone. I realize that.
Is Ryan Reeves? Is Ryan Reeves back, or is he?
Yeah, he was skating. He's skating. He's apparently ready to go. I mean, I don't want to necessarily see a situation where he needs to he needs to be on the ice all that much, but
I was going to say,
to set the physical tone, so to speak, against the young team, he might have a role in Game 1.
It just seems like Ryan Reeves is getting replaced by Keegan Kolesar. It seems like Kolesar has taken that spot, and now Reeves is just like the second guy.
Yeah.
So,
sure. And I mean that his cap hit has everything to do with that too.
Yeah. I'm sorry to jump in, guys. I want to real quick. I actually think everyone's missed something in this. The greatest strength of the Knights is their greatest weakness: goaltending. And we talked about, you and me talked about this a little more. This could be a series where every game is 2-1 or every game is 7-6. It's not going to be an up and down. Whatever that first game is what I think it's going to be throughout. Right?
Yeah, we're looking at two of the top 8 offenses in the league this year. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? If that first game is 3-2, they're going to all be close, low scoring games. That first game is a high scoring game. That's what they're all going to be, because you have Fleury, who's getting older, even though he knows how to do it, but he's shown signs of not being there in the playoffs, i.e. against the Caps. And then you have Leitner, who right now, I mean, I understand what he's going through. I understand mental illness. I just did an entire show yesterday on mental illness. But he seems like he might be on the edge of being off the rails a little bit with the COVID stuff that he went on. And I'm sorry, that plays into this. Ed Stanowski told, I even asked him, Ed Stanowski, Mike Liut, the 1 square foot, that's the goalie's greatest asset, the 1 square foot. And that's important to me. And that's what scares me here. I'm going Knights, but I think this goes 7. I really do. So we gotta talk now about the biggest series to me. It's everyone thinks that this is a lopsided series, and after today, it may be. David Perron was placed on the COVID-19 list. Money Puck
apparently.
Say again.
He's the third blue apparently. That's been
third
posted.
blue. Yes, he is the third blue. Walker, who was on the who played a little bit and was on the taxi squad, and then Utica got placed on the list, and then Wallman got placed on the list first. The Blues could be having a little bit of COVID hit. Now, the one good thing here is a lot of Blues had COVID last year. So they may have some immunity built up. And because of the shot, if you get it after the shot, it's supposed to limit, keep the effects down, the symptoms down. Right. So that has a lot to do with it. The X factor in this just became that is COVID. I'll start with Ben on this. Where's your heart in this one, Ben?
Oh, well, I mean,
let me see. Where are you at on this one? I know where my heart is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's an easy matchup in the West, and so I mean, Colorado is so damn good, but at the same time, the Blues. How many guys from the 2019 Cup winners do you still have?
I think they said 15,
16,
yeah,
16, 16. Okay,
right.
17,
right,
17, and
wild.
it's 8
to still have that kind of experience, to have that many guys who have been there before. And so, I mean, I think it's the Avs series, to be honest, but I don't think it's easy. And I think even with Perron, even with some injuries for you, I see it going 6 or so.
Tanner makes a good point. Your guys aren't in any position to make assumptions, and I just kind of went on what I knew, and I didn't mean to make an assumption. So I apologize for that. Where are you at, Jeremy?
I'm going to get lynched, but no, I'm with Ben. I think it's going to go to 6. Everybody's saying, oh, well, the Avs are going to sweep them, or it's going to go to 5. I think it's going to go to 6. I think the Blues have got a lot better, or a lot more tournament than going 5 or 4 or 5. But in that same regard, Rantanen, McKinnon, and Makar has been the kryptonite for St. Louis. The way they just, all 3 of them are just scoring on them left and right and center. And I think the Avs get this one, but I'm going to say in 6 just to keep face. But everybody thinks that they're going to get swept, and I don't agree there.
Yeah, well, so I gotta come up to this. Why did the Avs get to wait to play with COVID and we don't get to? Well, a couple different things here. It's not the same situation. In the original situation with Colorado, they had like 7 players get it when Colorado and Minnesota both got it.
Yeah.
The second time they had positives. It was Grubauer, McKinnon, and one other person got it.
Rantanen.
Lettinen. And when Lettinen got it, that was 3 active players. And that's why they kind of held off one game until they got the test results back because it takes 2 days to get test results. So they wanted to wait. That's why one game. There's a possibility, and it hasn't been said yet, that, if another active player on the Blues, they might wait a day to see what's going on. So we don't know that yet. We just have to be aware that it's a possibility. I don't think that the Blues are being treated any differently than the Avs right now. Right?
No.
Okay, Brock.
So here's my pick. And it's not, as much as I hate being a homer and hate wanting to fight being the homer, I think that something happened in the middle of the season. I think the Blues started figuring out some holes in the Avalanche. They saw some ways to beat them and the ways that, to kind of keep them pinned into their own zone where their big scorers can't hurt them. So I think it's going to become a neutral zone sort of series, whoever wins that neutral zone. I think the Blues, because they have so many veteran guys who can put the puck in the net, I think it becomes just a shooting gallery, and then it becomes, is your goalie hot or not? So I'm going to take the Blues in 7. I might be eating my words, but I do think that they've kind of figured something out this year about how to there are some vulnerabilities in Denver this year.
Yeah, so I wrote an article about the last game, and I kind of covered this series a little bit, Brock. And in that, I made some points in the last 6 games, in those 6 games in April, both teams scored 17 goals.
Wow.
Right? So even though Colorado won 4-2, it was a lot closer than people think it was. This wasn't just Colorado coming in and, putting their hand down. A lot of those games went to the last second or had an empty net goal or something. There was only one game, and that was a game the Blues won 4-1 that didn't go down to that. Right?
Right.
The other thing, go ahead.
Sorry, I think that Colorado, the only other team that knocked off Colorado 3 times this year, other than you guys, was Vegas. So there certainly is the blueprint there over those 3 games.
Yeah.
Right. The thing that, and I think what we saw against Minnesota is what you're going to see against Colorado. They played Minnesota and they came in and they just hit them. And the last 2 games that they played the Avalanche, they hit them. They had, and this was an amazing stat to me. Or no, it was the Knights, pardon me. 82 hits in 2 games against the Knights.
No.
They came in and they came in and hit. And I think that they showed they told the Knights or Colorado, whoever they were going to play at the time, I think they were going to play. Everybody thought they would play the Knights.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you're going to face for 7 games. Be ready. And I don't know if they got the I honestly don't think Colorado got the message. I think the Blues are going to come in and play that heavy game that opens up the offense. And if they do, watch out, because this is going to be a closer series than everybody thinks. The X factor right now becomes COVID. Well, there's 2 X factors, actually, COVID and Bennington.
Yeah.
If the Bennington of 19 shows up, we're winning this series. If today's Bennington shows up, we're not.
Well,
we're not.
That also falls onto the same pad as Grubauer. Grubauer is solid in that when he wants to be. Now, if he gets into trouble and they put Dubnyk in that, I'm sorry, the Blues will score all over Dubnyk because I think they've gotten his number for a long time. Ever since he was with San Jose and with Minnesota.
He did good. He did good with the Avalanche defense. They were able to keep the shots from being the high quality shots. They did a good job with that, and he did well. He was able to save some. The other thing, go ahead, Brock.
Well, I was going to say, hey man, we're getting up on an hour. We need to probably start going around the table and finding out what pick because everybody's on their edge of their seat.
Yeah, where my pick is, huh?
No, everybody. We need to go around the table.
I think Ben made his already. Did you make yours, Ben?
I went Colorado in 6 here.
Okay. Colorado in 6. I think Jeremy went to Colorado in 6. Brock?
Yep.
I'm saying St. Louis in 7.
You said so it's my pick.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Then who's winning? Who's coming out of the division? That's what I'm trying to.
Okay, St. Louis in 6.
Wow.
Okay.
St. Louis in 6. I think that this series is a lot. What I wrote. Colorado hasn't been past the second round. Right? They have not been past the second round. This team hasn't put it together enough to know how to do it. In 19. A bunch of Blues had been in 6. Were on the team in 16 and had been to the conference finals. They knew how to do it. There's the difference to me. Right? Okay, so who do you think's coming out of this division? I'll start with Ben.
Yeah, I hear you on the lack of experience, at least the lack of being able to go all the way from Colorado, but I mean, you got to start somewhere, and so I think that I think it's Colorado's division. I've seen them play Vegas 8 times this year, and they what's scary about them is that they look like they played us tough, and they didn't look like they were playing at 100% either. So I think that a couple teams in this division are going to beat the hell out of each other, but I think they'll ultimately emerge out of the West, and what they have left after that, I don't know.
So you're thinking the Knights out of the West?
No, sorry, I'm saying Colorado.
Colorado. Oh, you're going against your team. Wow. Jeremy, what are you at?
Go ahead.
Well, if my prediction is true, I think Minnesota comes out of the West.
Ooh, that's not bad. Because
if Minnesota can knock off Vegas, and if it comes down to Minnesota and St. Louis in the final for the West, Minnesota is going to remember those last few games where they got spanked, and they're going to come back and they're going to look for some revenge. Now, if they get Colorado, that's even better, because Minnesota and Colorado was just beating the hell out of Minnesota all season. So that's just revenge factor right there too. It all depends on if Minnesota gets past Vegas. If they can't get past Vegas, I say it's Colorado's to win.
All right. That's fair. Brock, where you at?
Just want to jump in real quick. I mean, to Jeremy's point, the one thing I'll say is that it's been one weird season, and I'm sort of feeling over the next few weeks something quirky is going to go down here, one of these divisions. So, Minnesota.
Well, for me,
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, for me, I'm just closing the book, penciling in the Las Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup final. I'm just penciling in. I'm not even going to question myself. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to count my money in about a couple months. So Las Vegas, the Golden Knights, they're going to be in the Cup final. I didn't say they were going to win. I don't know how it's all going to shake out, but I actually have picked Toronto Maple Leafs against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. You talk about America versus Canada. You know, the kitschiest American town in the world versus the classiest Canadian town in the world.
I'll transfer you my drive after the show, Brock.
Matthews versus Fleury.
Oh yeah. No. So actually, I okay. Maybe I'm a homer. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I see the Blues coming out of the West. I really do. And I think that if you in 19, it took about 50 to 55 games for them to figure it out. That's where we're at. And the last couple of games that they played against Minnesota, and even that they played before that, you know, the overtime loss to the Knights, I saw something that told me this is a team that doesn't care about what the record is. They wanted to get to the playoffs, and in the playoffs, they can make noise. Ryan O'Reilly even gave the Avalanche bulletin board fodder. We're going to beat them, and we're going to have fun. I see, and I did this on NHL.com. I see a Blues Caps series. Blues Caps.
Oh,
okay.
I see a Blues Caps.
Obviously, if you're going Blues Caps and you're going to say Blues are winning it.
Yeah. No, I think, I actually don't remember. I got to go back and look. The thing, I think the Blues can win a second cup. And the reason I think the Blues can win a second cup is because the man who's on the COVID protocol list, son, predicted it.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's like
his
saying
son,
because they got white uniforms. They're going to win.
No. Hold on. His son, when he showed him the cup, he asked his son, our son asked, where do the Blues go? And he said, here. And he goes, oh, the Blues are also going to go over here. Right? Saying that they would win it in 2 years. So I don't know. I just got that Frenchy feeling. So, we'll see. I want to do, depending on how the second round comes out. Yeah. It depends, because Montreal or the Canadians are playing like a week later. So if there's some space, I want to go in and do another preview and do a preview into each round. So we'll kind of do that as best as possible. Well, guys,
I'll be here to represent Pittsburgh.
Well, I'm sure Ben, it's been great having you, man. And we'll try and get you on again, man, when we can have you on a little longer and talk a little more.
Yeah. Ben,
we really loved having you on. Ben, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, Ben?
Ben, how you feeling? You feeling okay?
Oh yeah, well, Perron's not the only one going through this thing, so yeah, we're. But
Well, yeah,
I mean, I don't want to be out on the ice for 60 minutes, but feeling pretty good right now.
Good. Well, good.
Fantastic.
yeah.
Thank you.
Well, hey, yeah, that's right. I forgot that you're fighting COVID. Thank you for showing up, and we appreciate that. I know Jeremy fought it really hard, and it knocked him on his butt. So,
Oh, yeah.
where can everybody find your stuff at, Ben?
Well, I'm the Golden Knights specialist at thehockeywriters.com, and doing well. We're starting up a podcast in the next couple weeks, and in the meantime, look out for the morning skate newsletter. 5 days a week, we do a little snarky look at the hockey world that day and for the whole week. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to sign up for that. And hey, we'll talk. I'll have Brock send you something later. Jeremy, where can everybody find you at?
Oh, well, you can find me at my personal Twitter on jmiller911419, or you can find me on Sly Fox Sports Podcast, which I know we haven't been doing much, but, COVID and work and school has been kind of taking me for a ride lately. So, but I'm back. I'm going to be here more often, and, it's good to be back.
Yeah, we miss your writing and we miss you on the show. Really, trust me, I miss you as a producer. I really do. Brock, tell everybody where they can find you at.
Well, I'm doing some stuff for you at the BlueNote Fan Report.com and STLFanReport.com. And for the hockey writers, I cover the Blues. And this week, I'm going to kind of see what sort of trends develop early on in the series and maybe write about that. So don't really have I'm kind of going in with an open mind for that first game. So hopefully have a topic by Tuesday and have something out later in the week. And then again, Caitlin and I just talked with Tony Patrico of The Point. So we did a little podcast about country roads and how that whole story came together. The song they play in the arena that's kind of a cult classic. So look for that on the Rinkside Media, and I know Guy shared it out on his page too.
Yeah. Actually, I think you're one of the, you talked to me about possibly writing a story about that for us.
Yep.
Absolutely. We want that. I know you got another really good story coming in connecting Perron and Dimitra.
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to that. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan. You can find my stuff at stlfanreport.com. I'm on Twitter at HISTL Blues fan. Or HT can't even remember all of them. Yeah, HISTL Blues fan at STL Fan Report and at Blue Note Report. You can find these shows on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Facebook you can find them on my page, Guy Bensing, or on the Hawaii STL Blues Fan Clan, or some other blues groups that I shared them in. And last but not least, Blue Note Fan Report on Twitter. Don't forget the Pick'em contest. I'm going to, right at the end, I'm going to try and do a short promo for this later tonight. Pick'em contest. We are picking both the Knights Wild series and the Blues Avalanche series. You're picking all the games. So make sure that you get ahead of that. Tomorrow's game is early, 3 Eastern, 2 Central, like 9 a.m. my time. So make sure you get your picks in. Go to stlfanreport.com. Under contest, the drop down, you'll see the playoff pick'em. Get in there, make your picks. Right now, we've got one prize. We're working on some other ones. I will have a prize worth at least $150 for first place. Guarantee it. It will be something along that. If I can get something game used or game worn or game used, that's what I'm going to try and find. So check out stlfanreport.com and join our pick'em contest. Guys, thank you all for joining the Blue Note Fan Report and Me and My Buttons. That's going to be a song soon. Me and My Buttons. Join STLFanReport.com. See you all on the Blue Note Fan Report, because you got to know that I'm bleeding blue with you. As I say, aloha, mahalo, and I can't wait to see you on the next Blue Note Fan Report, 1 hour before Game 1 on Monday. Aloha. Take it away.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.